it start? Okay, you can help you about yourself. I'm sure Fabrizio will be happy to hear.
Okay, great. I hope you can hear me okay. I got problems with my internet again. So if it breaks, my apologies.
Kelly
Oliver,
nice to see you, Kelly.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm 2 minutes
I
late.
was just saying maybe you're on vacation, you won't be joining, but we are happy to see you too. So that I will change a bit the thing because so basically what I was saying, it's a bit of a kind of kickoff of one of the collaborative brand about air quality. As you know, we have a lot of collaborative brand coming, and we are a bit writing the playbook all together. And today it's mainly the, let's say, senior people with a bit of experience joining. And from that meeting, we will onboard few, I think maybe 8 to 10 younger people that are coming from either the Impact Generator School or from the Expert Marketplace, people that want to join and that will be working on the ideation phase of the project with the tools we are building. So it's so we have great people here. Kelly, happy to it's our best classmates. The top of the class, I would say. Joe will be Oliver. So Oliver was about to introduce himself. Oliver, go ahead. He was explaining he had a
if I'm muted, Sorry. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we don't see you, but we hear you quite okay.
Yeah, I turned the camera off because I got network issues. So, let me put it back. I'll put it back on, and we'll just go with the breaks. So very quick introduction. I'm living in Vienna, so Austria, English origin. Lived in France, lived in China, lived in Austria, obviously. Basically, high-tech industries, going from helping automotive tier ones and semiconductor guys, going from ideation to product release. So through the whole development phase, product life cycle, safe launch, ramp up in production, and so on. So primarily the high-tech type autonomous driving controllers, so very powerful ECUs, augmented reality display drivers, so laser-based beam scanning technologies, and a lot of things in between. So quite a lot of 30 years in industry. Currently setting up my own companies. So there we go.
So, and we are very lucky to have Oliver as a hipper at Uber's, and since he's we are building the playbook, we thought Oliver will be a great asset to be the leader of the project on Uber's side. Fabrizio, if you want to give a few words about yourself, will be very great for Oliver and Kelly.
Sure. Fabrizio D'Amico. I'm based in Verona, Italy. For the last 4 years, I've been working for Amazon in the last mile delivery, managing products and services for our partners. And previously, I lived 10 years in London and Milan, Turin, in management consulting like Accenture, worked in banks, HSBC, Deutsche Banking Group. All those roles quite related to IT, risk management, program management. That's really in a nutshell who I am.
And Fabrizio, I have the opportunity to meet him in Verona, of course, because I'm also quite a lot of time in Verona. And while discussing about Fabrizio maybe to join us, as Fabrizio is a geek, he's a very curious person. He has been working on a lot of things, and he's very interesting in seeing how he can contribute to what we are building. And we had that topic since he's working in Amazon with Eric and Thierry about air quality. And maybe Eric, if you want to introduce yourself, we will be happy to hear about you.
Very briefly, you have everything on LinkedIn. So I spent most of my time. I started my career in Japan, then at a very large corporation dealing with nuclear stuff, and then I moved to the Netherlands with Philips, where I was in charge of nuclear medicine at the time. Then moved to the States, did an IPO, went on Nasdaq with the company that I was working with, and then was hired, to my big surprise, by the former Prime Minister, Mr. Raymond Barre. You don't know him. You're too young, but he was also the first Vice President of the European Commission, and he was the General Secretary of Davos, and he wanted to reproduce Davos, but on the better grounds, at the interface of science, society, and industry. And this is how we started this Davos of life sciences. So I worked nearly 7 years for Raymond Barre, and then started Eurobio at the request of the French government, which became in only 2 editions the largest gathering of biotech and pharma companies in Europe. And then decided to, because I promised that to Raymond Barre, to continue the fight against diesel. I mean, we are behind the ICCT diesel gate. I mean, this is it started all in Paris, and then the Americans joined us and managed to really atomize diesel. We can summarize that this way, and continued after that to work on pollution, on PM 2.5. I was very surprised to find out that in Paris there was only 3 measurement stations for PM 2.5. That was ridiculous, versus 1,000, nearly 1,000 in Beijing. So we decided to find a solution, and had the idea of putting the laser micro sensors on vehicles. We are the first one to think about it, and what we did was to put them on the professional fleets of existing fleets. So we started with Enedis, the electricity distributor in France, to have a POC in Paris first, and then in different cities, and then move international with the help of Geopost DPD, which is the largest parcel delivery operators in Europe for the small parcels, I mean. And we managed to get, sorry for the voice, I had a very bad cold recently, which is strange in the heat wave, but still. And we managed to deploy PolyTrack in about 32 capitals and large European cities. That was a B2B, and this is during our discussion with Benjamin and Thierry that we realized that there was indeed something that had even a greater potential than the B2B, that was a B2C, but we were very too small to do it. The ideas are here. We had worked on a preliminary business model. There is a huge potential, but simply when you're not big enough, and when the fundraising is complicated, as you know it is, at least it was, and besides we were forced to give the exclusivity to DPD, therefore it was difficult to look for other partners. So for this reason, we haven't started a B2C, but with your help, we believe there is a huge potential. Over.
Thank you, Eric. Always a very lovely story to hear. Kelly, you want to say a few words about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you for having me. I'm Kelly. I'm currently in Zurich, Switzerland. I've spent 15 years living in London before this, and before that, shorter periods in New York and Shanghai. I am sort of 14 years corporate experience in energy services and IT and telecommunications. After that, I've been doing startup venture, so helping startups raise money. I went through the climate tech journey myself, founding a climate tech. And currently I work a lot with investors to look for startups in climate and health tech. I guess I'm here because I have come across a few ventures in the air quality space in London and in Switzerland. So yeah, I hope to be useful in connecting some of those ventures and maybe some experts surrounding them. And yeah, I hope to also help with the investor side as well. So yeah, that's me. Really happy to be here.
Beautiful, Kelly. Thanks very much to take a bit of your vacation. I was saying that maybe you might not join because I know you have your babies to take care of, and you
Yeah,
are
well,
taking a bit of time off.
he's watching The Lion King, so.
That we are safe for 20 minutes. We have my good friend Richard, our big mentor here. Richard say I propose Richard to join, but I'm not sure he will be able to talk. Richard, do you want to say one or two words to everyone?
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say hello to everyone. I'm going to be listening in and see how I could be of help.
Yeah, so just to give you word about Richard, I know Richard since quite a long time from Shanghai. We have been friends since quite a long time too. So we meet from time to time in Paris, in Venice. When Richard is traveling a lot, he's doing. I won't give you justice, sorry, Richard. Please compliment me. But Richard is a professor of design and innovation in Tongji University, which is a most prestigious design and innovation university in Asia. He's also he brought TEDx to China and organized hundreds of events in China mainland, working with a lot of big cities on cultural innovation, creating new experience for their citizens. Richard speak fluently. I like when once Richard told me, okay, you have been living in five times 11 years, different cities. So 11 years in New York, 11 years in Paris, 11 years in Tokyo.
11 years in prison.
11 years. So speak fluently French.
Just kidding. Let's not waste people's time. Let's listen into what you guys are doing in clean air.
Exactly. So and Richard is a storyteller. He's a brander. He's helping us a lot on a lot of things. So I'm always very happy when he agreed to participate, give some thought. Always very deep and always help us to do better things. Thanks, Richard, for joining. So you have Fabrizio. You were not here, but Fabrizio is in Verona with us, with me at least. He's working at Amazon, and he will join us on different, helping us, contributing in a buzz. Kelly, I think you heard about her. Eric is our Mr. Air Quality. He's been working for years, but I have the video I would send you, and I think Oliver, you know already, and the team, Alicia, Kevin, TC, and me, you know well. So we are here mainly to try to frame how we are going to work for the next 6-10 weeks with our community to ideate on a project that still need to be invented on air quality. So I will leave Kevin to give us more context on that.
Yeah, I can say a few words quick, but I think it might be good maybe for Eric to set the stage a little bit before I do on our end, just as far as I'm not sure. I think Oliver, have you sort of had an introduction to what is going on the polytrack end, and Kelly and everyone as well?
Yes. For me, we had a call earlier this week.
Okay. All right. Perfect. I just wanted to make sure. So I can dive right into sort of the document then. But basically, you know, what Ben is setting up the structure is that we'll have our hippers more or less leading our contributor network from the tokenized end. So let me just share my screen for just a moment here. Computer's a little slow this morning. Benjamin, Do you want to share the doc? Here, wait. My computer's finally letting me share it. All right. So basically, what we're envisioning is you all to more or less be the lead contributor team, the more obviously senior team, and then we would need to ideate out what exactly we will need from our contributors on the tokenized basis. So we have some ideas. I just wanted to kind of zero in a little bit, and this document will be shared with everybody. But what exactly you think we need on their end? Of course, like I said, I had ideas, but you'll be the leaders, so I think we need to have it directly from you. So I have sort of a first steps outline, what I was more or less envisioning we would need from first steps, the value prop, or try to find multiple, ideate that out, what the monetization strategy would be, looking at competitive analysis, stakeholder mapping, strategy, and then possible pilot partners depending on what route we take with the business model. A lot of this isn't yet filled in, but that's how I see it going currently. Is maybe for you all, Oliver, Benjamin, I think was thinking that you would be the lead. So if you could maybe think what would be the best sort of roles or tasks to help us kind of start moving along with the project. Benjamin, did you have anything to add?
Yeah. So basically, as we mentioned to most of you, each new collaborative brands will have two phases. The first one will be a phase that will last for 3 to 4, 5 months, depending on the content of the project. That will be mainly a research phase that will be leading to finding the right business models that can be monetized on the different topic we are going to cover. So of course, for us, it's creating a collaborative brand within each of the SDG. We want to build one collaborative brand that will be for profit. So for instance, here we are on SDG 3, health. This brand will be for profit because we have already thought about quite a lot of things thanks to Eric. Eric brought a lot of documents, and for the first one, we are going to do that with Pollutrack. So we are partnering up with a specialist of air quality. They have been working for 20 years on it. They know all the players, they know all the difficulties to monetize because, as Eric would say, air is a common good, so nobody wants to pay for it. Everybody wants to have data, but no one wants to pay for it. So how we can, and of course, since health issue is very important for all citizens want to have data so they can take decision. And Eric, you want to give more things about different type of business model we will be exploring?
Yes, of course. There's no problem for that. I have a set of slides, but I don't know how much time we still have. So, but I can send them to you so you have more time later on to look at them. It's the B2C has been the B2B has been really well studied. We have a return of experience that is extremely well seen. The B2B2C, meaning that our partners do benefit, and we are making happy. We are just discussing with Michelin, that's still confidential, but just between ourselves. They have understood that it's a very nice way from a CSR standpoint, from a global communication standpoint, and from a business standpoint, to be on the air quality. As you may know, the European Commission is getting stronger on what we call non-exhaust emissions, the NEE, due to Euro 7. So the air quality will take even more importance for the industry itself, and but that's a B2B2C. And what we're working now with you is B2C really, because this is the one that we haven't touched, because it's a difficult market, and because as Benjamin said, everybody feel that what it breathes should be free, but they don't realize that it has such a great impact on their life that they better take care of themselves in this way. You know, I mean, you can if you want not to eat during 3 months, you won't die. But I mean, but the breathing is really the most important of all physiological aspect of life, you know. And that's very strange, because the general public has been mixed in very difficult and even false information for the past 30 years or so. And so the understanding is not that clear in the general public. So we have to do really something very, very simple, that goes from very simple and very accessible to something extremely accurate and also professional. This is something that we've done on this slide. I don't know if I have the possibility of showing it to you, but it's,
you can show it for a few minutes. I'm sure to have more context will be interesting.
yeah, okay. So do I have the...
So just to add up on that, so we will be researching on two sides, and thanks to Eric and his large network of contact, we will have access to information on both what is monitoring and remediation, because it's good to know that you are sick, but it's also good to know how you are going to cure. So we will be working on the two parts, at least on a research point of view.
So very briefly, sorry, it's in French. It's being translated into English, but we kept this in French for reasons of confidentiality. You know, I mean, it's always a good barrier at some stage. And the first access has to be extremely. It's funny because the SAS in French is translated by airlock. You know, so it's we have to unlock the air understanding. And so we have to. The idea we had was to work on the first airlock, extremely accessible. You just type in your address and everything that you need to know about the air quality in your city is available in a very understandable way, contrary to the official agency that make it very difficult. If you want to have more information closer to, so the first access is of course free of charge. The second access, you have more information and the historical data and some advices as well. And then if you're very happy with that, and it is on a monthly fee basis. It doesn't have to be high, but it's just a matter of making sure that people are willing to get this information. Then we have a third one where you really split between the people that want to know by themselves, but are not necessarily willing to pay, or the other SaaS that it goes with the partners that are financing this activity. And so there is two solutions. Either you go with some advertising from the partners, or you go directly to your SaaS, to the airlock, where we split between the users. And that's very, very important, because the split means that we will have extremely valid information per category of, I would say, interested users. So jogger, sports in general, a pregnant woman, parents with kids, elderly, and people that are undergoing chemotherapy, so forth, and also some general information for the journalists. For instance, we have kind of tutorials that means. I mean, I was myself in charge of training Stéphane Mandard. I don't know if you know him. He's one of the big journalists from Le Monde, Mandard, and he was in charge of the Tour de France in the past, and moved to pollution. He asked me to train him, and I can tell you that he became one of the best experts in less than 2 days of training. So this is something that we want to expand and make sure that the journalists understand what they are talking about. So all together, this means that it's a potential B2C going from very accessible, free of charge, and very interesting to something that is certainly more that is closer to talking to your doctor or to an expert, and that's something that you can develop, of course, with artificial intelligence that will help to generate automatic reports, and that will be very much tuned to the user.
And automatic pieces of advice based on your
Absolutely, yes.
profile.
Yeah, and with some upon request, with some push SMS, so that we don't want to bother everybody all the time. But when we know that this person is 6 months pregnant, and we tell her, well, maybe next weekend you should go to the countryside because it's going to be a little bit difficult downtown Paris, for instance.
So that will be one of the line. It will be like an app. We are going to start trying to question some typical user. I mean, we are going to go deeper into the segment of people, because we find out it might be easier to talk to association of people having asthma, association of different type of users that need that type of information for their daily life. That could be interesting. On the side, we are also going to be more on the device side, because for monitoring, Eric has been using a technology that is very interesting, but is very professional. But we would like also to explore the possibilities that individual, maybe people doing sport, like people doing biking, running, to have a device that will collect information while doing activities. So that will be another line of studies. Okay, go ahead, Eric.
No, I just wanted to tell you that we'll have to always find positive way of communicating with the general public. It's really important, because we know the truth. We call that pollution. We know it's the first cause of mortality in Europe, at least, and so we know it's really bad. But we don't want to scare the general public. We just want to educate him. So we have always to keep in mind that it's a very dark subject, but we have to find always positive way of communicating. It's really important.
Please, Richard.
Hi, I am coming into this project very late, and I've not seen the rest of the presentation yet. I apologize. I only knew about this meeting 10 minutes ago. I do have to leave in about 10 more minutes to another meeting previously set up. May I ask in this group, since there are a number of experts on air quality, and previous solution globally on air filter, on larger systems of air purification, do we have a basic case study example of 10, 20 of the best things that exist in the market now? A sort of a SWOT analysis of each one of these things. What are they lacking? What are they missing? How can they be better? Their price point, and how can we make that price point more interesting, et cetera, because some of the terminologies is we have been living in China, we've been hearing it for 25 years. 2.5, et cetera, it has been very much on the forefront of our mind, and we know a few people that have been really changing, really moving the needle in this area in larger air purifications for central government, for public spaces in China, and people that have really set up huge monitoring system in spaces. This started with embassies in China. So I'm curious if we can, maybe not now, but somehow, is there a report that we can really look at what is before us, what has happened before us, who has been the great thinkers and the knowledge before us. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
Richard, it's a very valid point, and you're ahead of your time. But it's very interesting because the turning point that took place and that started about a couple of years ago is that now we have remediation. Before that time, we had only diagnosis, and we could only tell people bad news and do this and do that if you want to live a bit longer. But now we start to have remediation. I'm referring to the outdoor air quality. For indoors, I mean, honestly, if you're asthmatic and so forth, get a purifier. It works. It's very efficient. There is no question about it. Especially because now we know, and we have few publications with CNRS and INSERM, we know that if you have PM 2.5 and virus, this is the most deleterious cocktail you could dream of. Almost nobody would have died with COVID alone, but it was a combination of COVID plus PM 2.5 that killed a lot of people. And that I will send you the publication if you want. It's striking. It's really striking. When in Glasgow, during the COP26 in Glasgow, there was 40,000 delegates. They were not wearing a single mask, and there was no death whatsoever. Versus in Paris, the pollution was 10 times higher, and the death rate was incredible. So it's really something that we have to understand. Indoor pollution is being taken care of. People has to realize that if they have kids and so forth, they have to have a purifier. But I think in China now it's a well spread. Now for the outdoor, it's much more complicated. A lot of systems have been tried and to no avail. But we have found by realizing across our return of experiences, then PM 2.5 is exactly like snowflakes in Montreal. So if you want really to take care of outdoor air quality, do what the Canadians do with snowflakes. And it's incredible. So we have developed a system. I don't think we have enough time, but we can have a slideshow later on down the line where we can show you how we can create ventilation, normal ventilation, natural ventilation in what we call canyon streets. Canyon streets are you probably know that, but canyon streets are streets where the width is smaller than twice the height of the building, and therefore there is an accumulation of pollution because the PM 2.5 cannot escape. And we have found a natural way of creating a ventilation in these streets. What we also found during our return of experiences is that what applied to PM5 during the high season, which is basically the autumn and winter, can also be reverse applied to hotspots during the heat waves in any given city. So what we learn from PM 2.5 monitoring can also be useful for the heat waves monitoring as well. So this is really a new time, and you're absolutely right. Remediation, as we have developed and is now available with some other companies, of course, are becoming available, and that is changing a lot of things. Setting a diagnosis without bringing solution doesn't work. Now we have the solution.
Thank you very much, Eric. I've also shared in here Dan Rosengard, an artist, innovator, technologist from Rotterdam. And we're not suggesting something like this will work globally. This is I call this sensationalist. This is his way of saying, we take the smog, we take the bad air, we can convert it into a jewelry, a ring. So within so much air that is around this machine, it can absorb so many tons of smog and turn into a ring. And it has gone even more sensational. People have offered them as wedding ring. Not that we're promoting this, but the idea is the idea I want to share here is it will be actually cool to actually think seriously in the problem and also find artistic way to tell the story, to make the cause really, really championed by a lot of people. And I'm going to stop here. Thanks, guys.
I know this. I was the one interviewing the Danish guy who was behind this crazy idea, and he said it was a joke, but the Chinese government came to me and they paid me a fortune. So how could I resist? And so I do remember this interview that was during the COP21, and I said, well, what else can you do? And he was offered millions of dollars to bring this to China. And we have to be very careful, because there is always crooks when you have a new big market, and it's inevitable. I mean, you always have politicians hardly have, it's not true in China, but in Europe particularly, they have no scientific background, and you can sell them everything you want. They are so uneducated science-wise. They don't know the difference between a kilowatt or a kilowatt hour. It's just incredible. So we have to be very careful with that, and that's in our gene. We never cheated, and we'll never. So it's and what we have found is a really serious thing that will help people. Really.
Great.
But I mean, it's on the other side, this kind of crooks, they bring the public attention on the issue itself, so they help the need for a better air.
I don't know if you can hear me anymore. Yeah, now it should be okay. I think Richard, Eric, very great, interesting conversation, which make me think that, Kevin, the first things we will ask the younger people doing the research is to work on case studies, find 10, 15, 20 case studies that they can report, and we can, from their conclusion, it can bring more fuel for thinking forward on what we should be building. So that will be clearly some. I know Richard always emphasizes to study first what has been done before, what has been done well, before doing anything. And I totally agree that should be one of the methods. Kenny, you want to say something?
Yeah, I think it's really great example, like an extreme example that Richard has brought up. But I guess, yeah, my head is, how do you move from air being a public good to being a for-profit, if that is the aim? And I think examples of this are available and I think more common now. I have some examples that I can share in more detail at another time about some startups that are at the sort of seed stage who are doing this now. Just quickly, the one being B2C, aiming at sports, which I think Eric has already raised. I think that's a very strong one. And then there is another one which is talking I guess, aimed at carbon markets. So looking at air monitoring, real-time air monitoring to strengthen the carbon market data of like removing greenhouse gases. So I think, again, more a B2B financial systems play, but I think that's another one. And then another startup looking at the urban environment, built environment, so another big sector. So yeah, I think there is some work about providing these concrete examples of for-profit air monitoring case studies. And also, I guess a question is, are we keeping the scope broad, or do we want to narrow that down before issuing the mandate?
What do you think, Eric? Eric, you want to have a comment on that?
I was mute, yeah. Can you just rephrase, because it's a broad question, so just to focus on the very question itself.
Yes, the question is just before we get other people involved in the collaboration with the ideation, do we want to narrow the sector or focus on specific areas within the air pollution kind of problem?
Yes, as you said earlier, the real catalyst for the air quality matter is sports. It's really that where we have the really broad avenue, really, because it's very interesting. And keep in mind that when you exercise, you inhale 10 times more particles than when you are at rest, which means that you move directly from Paris to Shanghai just by running in the street. And you may have noticed there is no joggers in Bangkok, for instance. I was referring to moving from Paris to Bangkok. So the sport is really the key. And the second key is the subcategories of people that have health problems, because they are very motivated. In France alone, you have 10 million people suffering from respiratory disorders. People are more and more realizing that heart problems are also linked to air quality. They are starting to realize that when you are following your chemotherapy treatment, and if you're unlucky enough to have your treatment during a spike of PM 2.5, really in deep trouble. And therefore, it's really sports first and best venue to be successful. And the second venue is really to focus on diseases attached to certain categories of people. This being said, the focus is already done. We have chosen right from the start to work only on PM 2.5. Even if we extended now our range of product, we can go down to 0.15 microns, and 0.15 means that we also see, we could see the virus, but it's an organic stuff, so it's less interesting. But we can also see the metallic dust from the brakes at this point in time, and it's going to be really a revolution. And we can go up to 100 microns, where we see all the pollens, and where we can also know precisely what pollen comes from where, and this and that. So that's very new, because we go down to 0.15, which pleases enormously the European Commission. That should also please China, because this is the way the cars are going to be controlled in the very near future. And we can go up to pollen as well, which is going to please the general public. So the spectrum is broad, but focused.
Yeah, Fabrizio very nicely was proposing also to help on the research SWOT analysis. Thanks, Fabrizio. We are going to. This meeting was more like okay to to have everyone on the same page before starting distributing a bit the role. And as you know, we are building the playbook for the collaborative brands in terms of how we tokenize, how we do the different phase. So to have great people like you, smart people, will help us also to define the playbook by itself, because by having a playbook ready, we will be able to multiply the number of brands that we are going to launch. We have another one coming from next week. We will start because it's also related to one of the course we have on the Impact Generator School, will be on building a brand around digital nomad. That will be a mix of a lifestyle with an app, with apparel, with accessories, with luggage, using circular economy principle. So that means SDG 13, responsible production and consumption. And it's also a lot of people that we have people traveling around, being able to work from different places and having a sustainable way of living. So it's a big categories of people. It's growing because people, they want to travel, they want to work from nice places all over the world. And we clearly want to address that. Kevin?
Sorry, I need to drop just something.
Yeah, Fabrizio, please, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Kevin. I think the scope is really big. We should really try to stick to maximum 5 bullet points and start to explore those slightly deeper before really trying to go all over, because apart, obviously, as you know, resources are always limited in time, but also I'm not an expert here, and I just have already millions of different directions, which probably 90% of them are wrong. So maybe we should really try to write down a very simple brief in terms of, okay, this is what we have in terms of technology, this is what we have in terms of people. We could go 1, 2, maximum 3 ways just to keep everyone focused on where we want to go. Because honestly, okay, I'm new here, but I have so many different point angles, which I'm not sure which is the right one.
Totally right, Fabrizio. It's also because, you know, because this discussion has been going on since a few weeks with Eric, with different stakeholder. But we are going to pick up a few lines. We are not going to try to revolutionize all the industry. We are lucky. We have Eric and Thierry and their team that have been working on air quality, at the outdoor air quality, for 20 years. So it will help. They have a lot of documentation. They have a lot of research. They are also linked to researchers in different universities. So we will be lucky to have a lot of data to help us. And of course, with the help of AI, that's also what we are building in Uber's. It's all the tools to go faster from an idea to potentially a market. So Fabrizio, thanks so much for coming. I know that you have to leave to go to vacation. So enjoy your vacation. How long do you go?
I'll be off a couple of weeks, but I will be checking emails on and off. And please keep me in the loop. I might not be immediately responding. There might be a boat or somewhere that doesn't take the cellular line, but I will try to come back to you as soon as possible. And please keep me in the loop, because I really want to provide my support, anything I can help you with. Thank you all. It was a pleasure to meet you.
So when you come back, we have a spritz apparel on a terrace in Verona.
Thank you. Good day. Bye.
Goodbye.
Okay, enjoy with your family.
Yeah, I just sort of wanted to echo the same thing, just to be aware of everyone's time. I was going till 10, the meeting today, but we have the document. I was going to propose maybe I share the document with everyone, and then we can kind of gather around. Maybe I'll make another tab to sort of have some bullet points like Fabrizio mentioned of maybe some ideas of the direction we want to go. And then I think we can zero in from there and get a little bit more specific on which directions we can ideate out. And then also I think it's a great idea to have that research on what's already existing. Does anybody have any other ideas as far as next steps?
No, just make a remark because I didn't have time to answer Richard before he left. When he said, I hope he was not very happy with what I said about the.
We don't hear you well, Eric. Sorry, at least me.
Sorry, yeah. No, I was just willing to correct something because Richard left saying that it was a large group that was behind the idea of a huge ventilator. I was referring to the step before. The Danish guy was years earlier, so I didn't want to say anything bad against this group, of course, but we just have to be very
But we are
careful
going to do it.
that even large corporations, just like in France, Suez, Veolia, and so forth, are very good at doing greenwashing. So we have to be very careful with that.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure you will help us to do that. I think what we can have, it's maybe a more meeting with Oliver to define everything. Kelly, you wanted to say something?
Well, I just, yeah, it'd be good to know what tools we're using to collaborate. If there's an offline tool, I don't know, like a Miro or a board or something, yeah, happy to contribute, not on a call, offline.
Yeah, sure. We are going to think for everyone that are okay to contribute, and based on your knowledge, based also on what you want to do, because I know for you, Kelly, you are more on the PC side, and it's a direction you take that is related to sustainability. So there's a lot of things to do here, as you can imagine, because money is always the big question at the end of everything. So, and also to see what is happening in the startup there, which because I think what also it's important, it's to be realistic. That means we can build the best things for the planet, but if no one wants to finance it, it's not really useful. So we could see also what would be the best angle, because as we saw, we have a lot of different choices. So by knowing what is the best angle, what we will have also Julien Cantoni, who is, I think that our CFO, he could not be here because today, but he will be working on more on the financial side.
Benjamin, just quickly to interrupt, I think that Kelly's question was more practical as far as what tools we're using to ideate. Right now, we just have a Word document, or I'm sorry, a Google Doc. But it's a great idea to have some sort of an idea board as well. I'll share with you the Google Doc we currently have, but I think, yeah, that's a great input to have some sort of a collage space that we can sort of have an idea. Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay, so Kevin will provide you the tools, and for everyone, we have, of course, everyone can contribute any ideas they want, but we will have a very specific line where we believe that you can bring idea based also on your knowledge. Oliver, are you okay with that?
Yes, of course.
I think we will have to talk, maybe Kevin, you and I, to define the plan, because the idea is for each start of a collaborative brand is to have more senior people that are around us and contributing, and then to integrate younger junior people that will also help to do the research, to do the design, to do a lot of things. So that's why that was really much the first meeting between us. And now we have like 5 or 6 people, they want to contribute to the idea. And of course, for us, it's really much this intergenerational ideation phase that we want to create to include younger people from different countries. We will have also to choose geography because, as we know, air quality problems are different from country to countries. So we have one girl from, you remember Eric and Kevin, one girl from Karachi, Pakistan, very great girl. She has been working on air quality for quite a long time. I think she could be we could take 2 examples, one from developed cities, one from, okay, bye, Kelly. Yeah, so that is also
just because the meeting was set till 10. I do have a meeting coming up as well, but Oliver, as far as next steps for you, what are you comfortable with?
So if you could share the document that you've got just as the framework.
Yep.
And then I think as we need to come up with some sort of a project plan, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So we got some really good info already to kick this off about getting into case studies and so on, so we can keep people busy off the bat. And then I think the vision mission is the next critical thing. Decide where we want to take this whole thing, and then run through MRD, the usual stuff, right?
Perfect. Yeah, I have all those tabs there ready. Not everything's filled out, but what I can do is, like I said, I'll share that with everybody, and then maybe we can have maybe a 30-minute or so sometime next week to kind of see where we're at, if that sounds good.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Works for-
Perfect. I have to drop. It was a pleasure seeing you all.
Okay, see you, Kevin. Bye.
Take care.
Okay, Oliver. So, Eric. So I think it's a nice small intro to have enough brain that can give some nice direction, and we will start from here. I think, and then it's to build a plan, a very detailed plan on who is doing what. I think it's the next step. Because we will have, of course, all the knowledge from Eric, at least on what you have. We will have, I think Richard will be happy to contribute more on the branding, message, storytelling somehow, but maybe down the line, not immediately, but also case study. I think it should be good. Fabrizio told me he will be very happy to contribute on the SWOT analysis for different cases. He wrote me that on my WhatsApp. Then we have Kelly that can maybe, Kelly is more on VC side, that she can see what is happening on the VC side. I think it's important to know which direction we should put things to get funded, because that is also a key point, to get money at a certain time. And the way we are going to, the angle we are going to give that to VCs will get us funded or not. And it's where I guess Kelly will be very good at, plus other things, because she's very bright on sustainability. So, and I think it's already can be a very good start.
In terms of overall timescales, so you mentioned phase 1, which is the more research part, is like a 3 to 5 months.
Phase 1 for me. I mean, but we can change a bit how it is organized. But the idea is to have research, to talk to user, to have a business model that works. The business model Canva, because now it's ready on the platform. MRD, PRD. So and to have a pitch deck that can be given to investors, plus an execution plan if we got the funded.
Right. So the timescale for the pitch, what's your ideal?
Me, I think that is something that can be done in 2-3 months. 3 months for the first phase. The research, everything should be enough also to have time to meet. But I think it's 3 months for that type of project is enough. Let's say 2.5 to 3 months to have everything ready. Everybody on the same page, with also all the potential financial forecast based on the assumption we are going to take.
Yep. Okay. Good.
So we will. So you remember, Oliver, the idea is also to tokenize our experts. So we have already 10 people that are okay to work for tokens, and it's ongoing. But we don't want to have too many if we don't have enough job for them. So few designers. Like industrial designer, we have a researcher, we have people in branding, so support function, and we have also engineer that could help as well. So quite a good mix. So based on, we need first to see our needs, and based on our needs, we can start cherry picking the ones that could be best, and that DC and Kevin can help on that.
So this raises an interesting point. So I understand that the role of Polytrack is, or Eric and
Lutrack will
Eric,
be a kind of a co-founder on the project.
right? So they're obviously bringing in the core IP, the core technology around the laser.
Depends. They bring for sure everything relating to monitoring, what they have already.
Mhm.
And then it will depend on which direction we will go. But in any case, they are co-founder of the project, whatever. So they bring all the brain and knowledge about air quality that nobody have except Eric and Thierry and their team.
Yep.
And based on the direction, if the direction is more going B2B on certain way, because for instance, Fabrizio was maybe it will help to enter Amazon or to do a proof of concept if it's something they want to do. But we will have a door because he is well connected there, he's working there. That could be interesting. Or if we go to other direction, we will have to choose our fight.
Okay.
Yeah. Referring to that, there is something that has great value as well. It was told by the head of Météo France. The name itself, Polytrack, is a kind of generic term. He said, I don't know if you realize what you have invented, but it's a name that is easy to remember and that could turn into a generic term. And we also had the idea of mimicking Intel to say as a motto, Polytrack outside, I mean, it's kind of stuff that you can do around that.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
But I mean, from an IP standpoint, it's on a common interest to make sure that we grow together so that the IP is even more protected. We've been the fact that we are working close collaboration with CNRS, which is the largest research laboratory in Europe, and also with INSERM, which is also very well regarded, helps a lot because they know, I mean, it means that we are serious, and besides, it means that some companies are less prone to copy or to imitate when we are under these kind of protections.
Yep. Now, I mean, the endorsement from those research institutes is vital. Yeah.
And we also have a group of what we call the experts, with AIR at the end, and it's a group of about 50 top guns in the field of air quality. So whenever we have a question, we get the answers in no time. I mean, that's not as efficient as the Hubble system, but it's based on the same principle. We have the question. I mean, they have the answer. We just have to ask the question.
And we have one more thing, but that is more on communication. We will do a series of events on air quality, and I was still waiting for the. I got all your nice picture. It made me laugh a lot, Eric. So 7th, and it was pointed out by Eric. The 7th of September is Global UN Blue Sky Day. So the idea is to do something there, to show to people that we are involved in air quality and blue sky topic.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So I think it was a very nice meeting. Oliver, we will come back to you for the more execution plan to see who is doing what, to see also the time we need, the budget in terms of token as well for all the team, because that is also something important, including you. Because that is the idea, to incentivize people. And the way we do that, it's for each new collaborative brand we create or we want to create, is to build a team like we are doing for 3 months, to ideate and to come up with a plan. And once we have this plan, it's to pitch it to investor. And the project start only when we have money, investor, business angel, depending on the needs of money. Because also in the same time, we are going to build a business angel network around us. And I think Kelly can help a lot because she's in contact with, she told me like more than 100 business angel. And she's in contact in VC, pre-seed, seed. So she will be a great contributor there. And later we will try to find more like a role for her in what we do. But I would be very happy to have her. And I think she will really like what we build. So one phase is, okay, we work and we give a certain amount of token that is basically representing Huber's shares at the end of the day. So people that even if we don't go, we don't build the brand, in that case, they have a percentage of the brand that we are building. They still have in turn something, a reward, because so that is how we plan to gamify and incentivize people. That in any case, okay, you work for tokens. That means you are not paid directly in the first phase because anyway there's no money. But in the second phase, once there's money, all the people that has been working can have a role that we will define in the execution plan. And it will be a paid gigs, it will be a paid freelancing job. So that's why when we will do the execution plan, we need to see who will be the team and how much money we need to pay for that team. And if we don't do it, the early contribution of developing the plan will be turned into Huber's token shares and for the tokenization, we plan to do that in the next 6 months. So people have their real token, so they are really. But I'm very careful because it's one bullet gun. If we if we do it wrong, we fucked up the whole things, and I don't want that to happen.
Right. No. Of course. Yeah. Okay. I got it.
So that is where we are. Eric, anything you want to add? We can also involve you if you want, because you have been running a lot of companies. I'm sure it will be very helpful when we build the plan, the research, etc. If you can get some free time.
Yes, I will. No problem whatsoever. It's kind of priority, So don't you worry. And thanks again for your participation. It's moving in the right direction, and I'm very happy to see that everybody is quite talented and willing, so that's fine.
Yeah, we will do that meeting next week. Anyway, we need to move fast because that is also the idea. It's to by organizing that way. It's to show that the first phase of a project can be decreased.
Yes,
that is a promise we do because, as you know, Oliver, what we do it's what people can do tomorrow without us. They don't need to involve us to use others. They can come, build their own things, and use let's say the scheme that we are preparing, either to tokenize their own brands or to be able to split the work on a very agile way. So that's why it's very important that we frame that well from the beginning by testing ourselves. We will see all the problem, and since it's only people we know well, or people very straightforward, we will have very great feedback, so we can improve things very fast.
Yep. No, I fully agree. Yep.
Okay, so Oliver, talk to you very soon.
Oh, very soon. Yes.
Eric,
same. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, it's gonna be busy, but nice.
And I'm going also to work on a few things. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye-bye.
Right. Cheers.
All right. Thanks. Cheers.